We are in the midst of some huge global dynamics, some change that's happening right now. I think World War III is on. I'm on the way to something right now, so I only got a couple minutes, but just to give everybody the heads up, the United States took control of the Panama Canal again. That denied China access to shipping and trade, and that cut off a lot of China's trade capabilities by controlling the traffic through the Panama Canal. Then, of course, the United States destroyed the trade routes with Europe, between Europe and China. They disrupted a lot of the Belt and Road Initiative. China used to import, 78% of its oil or something? Well, by taking over Venezuela, that was a huge hit to China. And now, by denying China access potentially to Iran's oil supply, well, let's not even go to Iran yet. What's happening with Greenland and everything else, controlling the Arctic and the transportation routes in the Arctic. This is a huge shipping lane. Potentially, we're talking saving weeks of transportation by going through the Arctic. People talk about the military strategic importance of it with over-the-horizon missile detection and stuff, but in actuality, the shipping lane and having access to that shipping is very important. And America has just recently said we will cut the world into three, deny every country that's our opposition access to energy and free access to markets. That was something that's just released. I don't know if it was Politico or what. That's their official statement now, dividing the world into three. And it was already America's policy since the 90s to not let anybody become strategically powerful or close to the United States. I believe there's also a containment policy with China that they had to confront them before they become too powerful in 2027. Okay, well, right now, just recently, aside from cutting off shipping through Panama, aside from the oil, this huge hit to China with Venezuela, and now if they cut off, their whole armada is getting ready to attack Iran, and Iran and what Iran is doing in the Middle East is no different than the vassal states, what Europe is doing. And, Europe is a vassal. They don't want them to have access to any energy from America. It's destroying Nord Stream. Deny them access to energy. Deny Russia the ability to do business with them. That was their strategy, cut off and contain. And by doing this is a blockade. Well, whether or not Iran has nuclear capabilities, if they had them before or if they did not have them before, they probably would not only use them in an existential threat, which the 12-day war never got to be. However, what is happening right now is a threat to China. If America goes through there with their Blitzkrieg attack, which is what happening with their chaos theory attacks right now, everybody's looking at the storm. America's policy has always been to use overwhelming force, and now they're doing this all around the globe. Overwhelming. People see the clouds of the chaos, and there's lightning strikes happening. This is a blitzkrieg attack from the U.S. all over, and all the dynamics of shipping, resource control. It's an attack. It's a huge all-out attack by controlling the Arctic. And what happened with Greenland, wasn't about Greenland. Now they're controlling, Russia controls 53% of the Arctic by landmass, and the rest of it, America's drawn up with their NATO. First of all, they got their own UN going with the Board of Peace, and now they're going to try to control all of the Arctic shipping lanes, which is a strategic threat to China, along with the cutting off of the oil. And if they cut off the oil to Iran, then China only has really Russia to get oil from. And I'll tell you what, so let's hold that for a second, hold that thought. So basically, I believe the most logical thing, we'll see a nuclear detonation as deterrence from Iran. They were told previously not to use it unless it's an existential threat, I imagine. And I imagine now the dynamics are changing so rapidly that I wonder if the bureaucracy in Beijing, if they're going to realize the Blitzkrieg, what is happening, fast enough to have the change fast enough. You're talking about the largest army in the world. Still, you need time. You need time to, and America and whoever's gaming this, whatever AI is creating these strategies, it's not coming from Trump. They must realize the time is one of the most valuable weapons, and it's a strategy to attack, like they're going with Cuba, like they're going to do with Iran, and this is completely isolating China. And to lose the Iranian oil supply and Venezuelan oil supply and shipping access and trade, this is such a combination of puns that China must react for its own strategic defense. So I'm guessing that we're going to see either most realistically, a nuclear detonation as deterrence in Iran, or we might see the first time use of tactical nukes. I heard some kind of noise in Telegram that Iran has notified Switzerland or something that they had possession of nuclear weapons. I don't know. That's just recently, I've seen in a couple minutes. But if they are successful in cutting off China from oil, then that means that's going to be pushing China and Russia closer than what America wants them to be. And we've seen the United States using Israeli tactics and other tactics of, they have no problem bombing the people that they're negotiating, even though the appearances to be negotiating with Russia. I would not be surprised to see immediately if this attack does devastate Iran and they do take control of the Strait of Hormuz and they do take control of the oil, then the next attack will be a rapid destabilization. Expect maybe an assassination of Putin underneath the guise of it being ISIS or something. But they don't want to have China close to Russia, and by cutting off and by forcing them to only buy that's what they don't want. That is a unified Russia and China. So what's happening right now has become strategically more important than anything else that's ever happened. And with the with the 12-day war, that was just warm up. There wasn't the contributing factors of the oil supply being lost in Venezuela and the Arctic route being taken control of, and the Panama shipping lanes. So all these combinations coming together are pointing to the fact that we are in World War III, and we're going to see, as capitalism leads to the final stage of capitalism, is imperialism, and we're going to see major powers collide. And America's pushing it really hard as their financial prowess has been diminished, and they're trying to strike while the iron's hot. And this is so rapid and so clever and so strategically. This has to be AI driven. So God help us all. I gotta go. Sorry, the 8 minutes. Huh? Pay attention. I wonder if wonder what's happened. Trump said tomorrow night you'll see something. I don't think it'll be that long. So stay tuned, and God help us all.